Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving deep into what a lot of people are calling the next phase of the internet. It's built on a pretty radical idea called decentralized applications, or Dapps for short.
So let's just start with a really big question. Think about your favorite app right now. Now, what if that app didn't belong to some giant tech company? What if there was no single server that could fail and no one person or company could just decide to shut it down? I mean, what would that even look like?
All right, let's get into it. To even wrap our heads around that idea, we first have to understand what a decentralized application, or a DApp, actually is. And believe me, it is a massive shift from how we've been building software for, well, decades. Okay, so the real game changer is the architecture. On the left, you've got your traditional app. It runs on a company's servers, they control all the code, they control all the data. Pretty standard stuff. But a DApp, on the right, well, it throws that entire model out the window. Instead of a private backend, it uses these things called smart contracts that run on a public, peer-to-peer network, like a blockchain. The backend is literally everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
That is a huge change in how we think about building things. And for an app to really be called a DApp, it has to be built on 4 essential pillars. So a true DApp needs these 4 key ingredients. First, it has to be decentralized, which means all its records are stored on a public blockchain for everyone to see. It has to be incentivized, so people who help run the network get rewarded with crypto tokens. The code needs to be open source, so you, me, anyone can check it to make sure it's fair and secure. And finally, it's all driven by a protocol, a set of rules the community agrees on, so there's no single boss calling the shots.
Let's really drill down on that incentivized piece, because it's kind of the secret sauce that makes the whole thing work. Without a company paying for the servers, who keeps the lights on? Well, the users do. People called miners or validators use their computers to verify transactions and secure the network. And for doing that work, the system automatically pays them in crypto tokens. It's a completely self-sustaining economy.
Now you might be thinking, this sounds way more complicated to build. And you'd be right. So why bother? What's the big payoff? Well, it's the ability to create applications that are for all practical purposes unstoppable.
And this right here is the promise. Because the logic is baked into the code on the blockchain, the application will run exactly as it was designed to, forever. There's no company that can just change the terms of service on you, no government that can demand a server be taken offline, and no third party who can block your transactions or delete your content.
Okay, this all sounds pretty amazing, right? But we have to do a reality check. The tech is still super new, and it comes with some pretty big hurdles we need to overcome.
The biggest trade-off right now is performance. To get all that amazing security and decentralization, you give up speed and scale. Think about it. Every single action has to be verified by a global network of computers. So for now, dApps are just way slower than the centralized apps we use every day.
And let's break down those hurdles a little more. Storing even a tiny bit of data directly on the blockchain is incredibly expensive. Every single calculation the app does costs money. On Ethereum, they call this gas, which really limits how complex these apps can be. And all of that leads to really slow transaction speeds, at least with today's technology.
But even with all of those limitations, there are some really cool dApps out there in the real world that are starting to show us what's possible.
Yeah, for sure. If you look at a platform like Ethereum, you've got things like PureBet, which is a betting platform where there's no house taking a cut of every bet. Or Golem, which is trying to create a massive global supercomputer by letting people rent out their spare computing power. And then there's Augur, a prediction market where the truth is decided by the consensus of the crowd, not some central entity.
This table really drives the point home. Think about a social media app today. The company owns your data. Their code is a total black box. They can delete your account or your posts for any reason. In a decentralized world, you control your data with your own keys. The rules are transparent and open source code for everyone to see. And because the records can't be changed, censorship becomes almost impossible. It's a totally different paradigm.
Which, of course, leaves us with this massive, thought-provoking question. For the last 20 years, the internet has become more and more controlled by just a handful of giant companies. But if applications can truly run by themselves without any company at all, what on earth does that mean for the future of the web?
Hey, if you found this explainer useful and it got you thinking, please share it with someone else who's curious about this stuff. And of course, subscribe for more deep dives into the technologies that are busy shaping our world. Thanks for watching.